Well, hello and howdy ho everyone, Foxy Games here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV full story playthrough. When we last left our heroes, Fandaniel had shown his hand. Not all of it, but at least the first part. Lunar Bahamut, and a series of towers that have appeared everywhere in Eorzea. I don't know if we can see one from here in Porta Praetoria. You can be rest assured they're all over the place in the world now. You can even see them if you go flying around. But we're not out here to do that. We're out here to check in on our progress with the weapons. Ah, it is good to see you, Foxy. I'm pleased to report that Master Garland and the others uncovered a fair bit of useful information at the Imperial facility in Turncliffe. In fact, he'd like you to rendezvous with Gaius in the town square, where he'll reveal what they've found. Once you're ready to depart, your escort will lead the way. Well, that sounds good. It's been a while since we've checked in on this, so I think it would be best to see if they could use our help. All set for the journey ahead? Yes, we are. Now, before we speak to Gaius, we'll talk to Valen and Severa. Though the Imperials may be gone, the scars they have left on this once peaceful town will doubtless take many years to heal. It seems that Cid is not in the habit of saying the same thing twice, which must be why he's been waiting for you to arrive before revealing the results of his investigation. Yeah, he's kind of like that. Have the townsfolk anything new to say? Most of the 7th Legion troops stationed here withdrew before you arrived. I expect they're regrouping somewhere and getting ready to retake the town. Nope, pretty sure they said that before, so we're not going to worry about that. Now that you're here, perhaps Cid will finally deign to dispense his findings. Severa, inform him of Foxy's arrival. Thanks for coming. So, what have you discovered? To tell the truth, we were lucky to obtain any information at all, considering the lengths to which the Imperials went in covering their tracks. You see, the hangar below was not just used to store the weapons, but played a critical role in their creation. We now know the code names given to 3 of the weapons: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Obviously, we're all familiar with the first 2, but the third is something of an unknown quantity. At the very least, this confirms the existence of another of those abominations. At the very least... The problem lies in ascertaining its whereabouts. None of the locals have seen anything resembling a weapon being transported either by land or air. Which of course leaves only one option: the sea. According to what fragmented data we were able to recover, the Emerald weapon is equipped with aquatic capabilities, much like the Sapphire. Meaning that its escape from Turncliffe would have gone undetected, and could potentially be anywhere by now. But if Alphonse plans to have it absorb more primals, the logical choice would be Eorzea. And traveling by sea would allow him to circumvent the front line at Gimlet entirely. The Alliance must be alerted at once. Hold your chocobo, Severa. It seems that the Emerald weapon was still incomplete when the 7th Legion withdrew from Turncliffe. It's far more likely that it was transported to another facility in order to add the finishing touches. If your supposition is correct, this would narrow our search to but 2 possible locations: Castrum Marinum in the Rotano Sea and Castrum Occidens in eastern Lanosia, both of which are known to harbor remnants of the 14th Legion, your former subordinates, Gaius. Be that as it may, our objective is unchanged. Valdolin, you and Severa will make your way to Castrum Occidens, while Foxy and I head for Castrum Marinum. Should we locate the Emerald weapon, we will give the signal to dispatch the G-Warrior and eliminate it before it can be activated. Sorry to disappoint you, but we're still repairing the damage it sustained during the encounter with the Sapphire weapon. While elegant machinery has its uses, it's a bugger to find replacement parts in a pinch. We've actually been working to expand its already impressive arsenal, but the G-Warrior itself is in no fit state for combat. While I'm aware this is a far from adequate replacement, I can provide an ironworks submersible to help Foxy and Gaius reach Castrum Marinum. I'll have one sent to head to Vesper Bay. A submersible, eh? I don't much like the sound of that. Perhaps Severa and I should count ourselves fortunate that our destination can be approached by land. I pray you have a safe journey. Watch yourself out there, Foxy. It is time we departed. Let us make our way to Vesper Bay. Well, hopefully nobody out there recognizes you. I doubt they would, considering you never took off your mask. In the event that my attempt to bypass the Castrum's security fails, this submersible of Sid's had best be able to withstand the Imperial weaponry long enough for us to escape. Well, only one way to find out. Are we already out in Vesper Bay? We are. It just teleported us there, which is quite kind of it, really. As per Master Garland's instructions, the submersible is ready when you are. But before you depart, I've received some scraps of intelligence regarding your opponent from my colleagues in Turncliffe. Apparently it uses some sort of levitating hand-like appendages, 6 of them in fact, though we're not quite sure what purpose they serve. It sounds like having eyes in the back of your head might come in handy, but that's all we know, I'm afraid. You have our thanks. After all, forewarned is forearmed. If the emerald weapon has indeed been transported to this castrum, it will need to enter via the dry dock. We shall do likewise. As one might expect, there are measures in place to keep out intruders, but the security systems can be tricked into recognizing us as an Imperial vessel. That said, infiltrating the facility is merely the first step. Should the emerald weapon be activated, it is only a matter of time before the pilot uses Oversoul. We must silence the warmachina before this happens, and failing that, grant the poor soul at its helm the mercy of a swift death. Had these wounds healed more quickly, I could have gone with you, but I fear I would only slow you down. As such, I shall provide what support I can from afar. Whatever happens, the emerald weapon must be dealt with at all costs. Castrum Marinum is now accessible. We'll have a quick word. I'm sorry we weren't able to provide any further details on the target. We can only guess what other tricks it might have in store for you. Be careful out there. Though I would prefer that we avoid engaging my former wards in combat, we cannot allow my sentiments to prevent us from doing what must be done. Well, you are a man of duty and honor, Gaius, despite your past. Let's make our way to Castrum Marinum. This is it, the emerald weapon. I've been expecting you, hero of Eorzea. Look, Father, this is the power that we command. Alright, let's take this thing down. Full disclosure, I did watch a guide last night, and then waited an hour in queue to try to get a group. So, if I fuck up, I apologize. But forget it. Oh, ready, check. Oh, shit. Well, I guess we're going. I'm sorry, Father. We've come too far to back down. I fucked up. I did not get close enough to stay out of the laser. Oh well. Okay. There are magnets on those bombs. And they were the same polarity, so they get pushed away from each other. Holy ow. I may be fucked. Yep. This one's a little bit touchy, just avoid the balls. You kind of just sidewind your way in and out and you should be fine. Wow. That is a huge knockback. Holy shit. Alright. Phase 1 is down. So it's come to this. But no matter what, I can't afford to lose. Not even you can beat the Empire's finest. Activating Oversoul. Baelsar combat data ready. Initiating organic core overwrite. Ali, Alphonse, this is goodbye! Rex, what have you done? Oh dear. What is the meaning of this? Wait, that glow. Bear witness to the glory of the Empire! It's Gaius's combat data. This is Werelit at the time of the invasion. Could the synthetic Auracite be causing this? Oh dear. Gaius is not gonna be cool with this, and nor do I blame him. Oh, those guys are fucked. Stack these. Okay, just don't panic. Oh, I was out of that. You can go to hell, game. And this part, honestly, isn't really hard to avoid. You just have to look for the gaps in the lines. Like, you can even see it ahead of time. It's quite easy. You know, I'm almost tempted to say that Phase 2 is actually easier. Can we get a limit break? No? That's okay. And that's it for the Emerald Weapon. Commend our lovely healer. One of them, anyway. And let's go. Gaius, how you holding up, buddy? And so it ends. Why would Rex throw his life away for this? You were right. If I'm ever to learn the truth, I must concentrate on the task at hand. Of course, we do not need to wait for Sid's analysis to tell us whose combat data was used on this occasion. It galls me to think that my techniques and strategies could be so closely replicated. Nevertheless, the observations I made during the battle may yet prove useful. As a matter of fact, that was not the only information I was able to gather. I intercepted a signal that revealed the troops stationed here were permitted to withdraw, seemingly in return for assisting with the 7th Legion. They must have known that the Alliance would follow the Emerald Weapon here sooner or later and made good their escape. Meaning the way is now clear for Sid to inspect the warmachina's remains. We got here as soon as we could. Not that we could have done anything to prevent this tragedy. From what we know, it seems that the Emerald Weapon was ilm for ilm a great deal more powerful than the previous two. If this is allowed to continue, who knows what sort of monstrosity the 7th Legion will conceive next. Nevertheless, Foxy has once again proven herself capable of overcoming the worst the Empire has at its disposal. You may be relieved to hear that Castrum Occidens was free of anything resembling a weapon. Unfortunately, it was also devoid of any useful leads, and we came away empty-handed. In all honesty, part of me wishes we had never found the Emerald Weapon. Perhaps then Rex would not have been forced to make the ultimate sacrifice. I only hope he is finally at peace. We will do what we can to spare others from sharing his fate. I and the Ironworks will search this place from top to bottom for clues as to the 7th Legion's plans. Before that, allow me to sweep the area for booby traps and the like. I would not put it past the Imperials to have left a few surprises for us. Agreed. I'll go with you. With that in mind, I'll begin my examination of the Emerald Weapon. Carefully, that is. Alphonse, you knew all this time, didn't you? Melisandre and Rickon too. Everyone except me. And you, Rex? Yes, that's what the synthetic Orosite system is. The fusion between pilot and core is the key to Oversoul. And unless we use it, we don't have a chance of beating Father's newfound friends. They stand between us and the Primals, without which the weapons will never reach their full potential. We thought that if you knew the truth about Oversoul, you'd try to stop us. Of course I would. But what I don't understand is why all of you are so willing to give your lives for the weapon project. What is it all for? It all began the day Father left. Without his guidance, his protection, the Garleans lost any respect they once had for us. But their cruelty pales in comparison to Valen's. To him, conscripts like us are expendable commodities, an endless supply of test subjects for his twisted experiments. But no matter what they do to us, we will never lose hope. If it is the duty of the strong to lead the weak, we will become strong and protect those who cannot protect themselves. The weapon project will give us the strength we need. We will create a world where people like us can live without fear of persecution. We want you to see this new world for yourself, Allie, even if we must give our lives to make it a reality. But why me? The years spent serving the Empire have changed us all, except you, Allie. Even after everything you've seen, you're still the caring, innocent girl we grew up with. More than any of us, you deserve a chance at happiness. That's what we all agreed. Allie, listen to me. Right now, the soldiers assigned to watch over us have been called away to the capital. Now is our chance to get you out of here. Then why don't you come with me? If Alphonse and I were to run away now, they'd only force others to take our place. We can't let that happen. This is our way of upholding the ideals Father instilled in us. Our lives are a small price to pay for Werelit's freedom. No! How can you expect me to leave you behind? I won't do it! We will forever be at your side, Allie. Rex, take her to the holding cells. No! Let me go! So win or lose, the plan is to hand over the castrum to Father. Is that right? Yes. They'll take Allie into their custody before the Garleans return, while you will be free to pilot the Emerald weapon without her interfering. We can't let her hinder the completion of the weapon project. I'm counting on you, Alphonse. Don't let our sacrifices be in vain. Rex, have you forgotten what I told you? You mustn't use Oversoul. I can't lose you too. We both know I can't win without it. Besides, we need the combat data of the Emerald weapon fighting at its peak if we're to have any chance of perfecting the synthetic Aurosite system. You know I'm not the sort to do things by halves. Forgive me, Rex. Don't you worry about me. If this is where I meet my end, I'll do it with a smile on my face. The rest is up to you, Alphonse. It just seems so pointless. This is the girl you spoke of, yes? She was locked in a cell, but I saw no harm in letting her out. I can't say for certain, but it seems she's been through quite an ordeal. No. Why, Rex, why? Gaius, once you've extracted the core, we'll take it back to Turncliffe for analysis. Perhaps she should come with us. There's no use in her staying here. Severa is taking care of Allie, but it may be some time until her nerves have settled. If the vision you witness is indeed true, Alphonse and Rex locked her away for her own safety. When she is ready, I would know more of what her brother hopes to achieve, and why he must resort to such desperate measures. Allie's condition has improved somewhat, but she remains in a state of shock. We must give her more time to recover. There was one other thing I thought you should know. When we checked her for injuries, we saw that her back is covered in welts and bruises. Who did this to her? It seems she was subjected to beatings on a regular basis, judging by the varied stages of bruising. I dare say this is the work of her Garlean masters. You speak as though you've seen this before. Seen? I have lived through it myself. I was born in Werlet 23 summers past. My mother was a local woman, but my father was a pure-blooded Garlean and a member of the occupying forces. Though I know very little about him, his rank afforded me imperial citizenship. His acknowledgement of our familial ties was the extent of the responsibility he took for bringing me into this world. Still, it is more than can be said for most of his ilk. My mother and I were shunned by the people of Werlet, who treated us as badly as the Garleans did, if not worse. I thought that if I were to become an imperial soldier, my position might somehow deter those who would cast scorn on my mother, if only out of fear, and so I joined the army. The acceptance I earned was but temporary, however, and my superiors were quick to blame any perceived shortcomings on my savage lineage. Rather than waste time on an official court-martials, they administered their own form of corporal punishment. I was eventually assigned to the 12th Legion and fought under Xenosier Galvis and Alamigo. In the chaos that followed our defeat, I seized the opportunity to flee to Werlet. While it was never much of a home, it was all I had, but nothing could prepare me for what awaited. My mother had for many years suffered from poor health and relied on medicine to keep her alive. In my absence, the Garleans had denied her treatment, claiming that it would be wasted on savages. By the time I could return to her side, there was naught I could do. There was nothing left for me in Werlet. I would be punished for desertion if the Imperials discovered the reason for my return, and I was never accepted by my so-called countrymen to begin with. I ran as far as my legs could carry me. It was then that I met Gaius. So that is the truth of it. Other than a few scant details, I knew naught of your past. It sickens me to think that I once fought under the same banner as such vile creatures. I had always believed it to be the duty of the strong to lead the weak, yet there are those who become drunk on the power afforded by their station, and prey on the ones they should protect. Like a canker, this corruption has spread to every part of the Empire. Even those with Garlean blood, such as myself, are subjected to their cruelty. They hold a particular contempt for Alra, an easy target for abuse being so few in number. People like, or perhaps like me, Ali thought she would be spared such treatment once she joined the army. Alas. I only hope that with time Ali can put the past behind her and make a new life for herself. But for now all we can do is wait for her delirium to subside. It is Valdelin's turn to keep watch. Let us ask him if there have been any changes. The Garlean's cruelty runs deep. In a nation built for such things, by Ascian hands. Though you've overcome the Emerald Weapon, it is hardly cause for celebration. Another young life cut short. Rex's death is on my hands, not yours. Would that this confrontation had been averted, but alas, it was not to be. I suppose you're here to ask about Ali. Is she well enough to speak with us? As her condition has improved somewhat, I would say so, provided you do not cause her any undue stress. Wait here. Ali, I am sorry. What happened to Rex? It was my fault. Melisandre and Rickon too. They died because of me and my foolish ambitions.
Father, no.
This cannot go on. Please, Al, you must tell me all you know. Of course. First, I need to know what became of you and your siblings after we parted. So much has happened, it feels like a lifetime ago. After your disappearance, we were all assigned to the newly reformed 7th Legion. At first, each legatus was quickly replaced by the next, until eventually a man named Valen was given command. He was sent from the capital, but before that he was a specialist in experimental magitech weaponry. We later discovered that he was ordered by Emperor Varus to complete a project involving anti-primal warmachina, the weapons. But after the Emperor's death, he was free to employ whatever methods he saw fit, and his greed for power only grew. Some even say he is planning to use the power of the weapons to lay claim to the throne. But I think there's another reason for his obsession with the weapon project. Not that he'd ever tell anyone, but he's always muttering to himself, and I've been able to put the pieces together. He's jealous of you, Father. Valens van Varo. I must admit it was only recently that I first heard that name. Valens used his knowledge of magitech to devise various military strategies. He was given a position in the army and quickly rose through the ranks. That was until one man stood in his way. You, Father. He was one of the candidates to lead the new 14th Legion, but that role fell to you. After that, he was assigned to serve under a far more gifted engineer, Nero, who was in charge of restoring the Ultima weapon. Valens has resented you ever since, going so far as to oppose the ideals you upheld. Where you treated those who served the Empire based on merit, rather than their race or their origin, Valens is adamant that pure-blooded Garleans are superior to all others. It never ceases to amaze me how far some will go in the name of revenge. All that hatred festering away. Nothing good could ever come of it. So the marks on your body are his handiwork. Yes. To Valens and his men we are no more than fodder for his experiments, playthings on which they can vent their frustrations. Every day is filled with nothing but pain. If I had remained in Garlemald, you never would have been forced to endure this abuse. It's not your fault, Father. We could have fled from Valens if we wanted to. After all, we're expendable and easily replaced. The truth is, that's exactly why we couldn't run. In saving ourselves, we would be condemning others. But if we were to stay, to see the weapon project to its completion, we would gain the power to defeat Valens and then the Empire itself, freeing the world from its tyranny. That way we might start afresh, and find a place we can call home. And not just for us, but for anyone who wishes to live in peace. You would give your lives for a future you may not live to see. We took courage from your teachings, Father. The strong must lead the weak, and we would gain that strength by whatever means necessary. We will fight for the sake of those who cannot. But we knew you'd never consent to our participation in the weapon project, which is why we couldn't turn to you for help. As the pilots, we're the only ones who are able to stop Valens. We know just how powerful the weapons are. He would use them to bring the world to its knees. And his masterpiece is the worst of them all. If only I could get my hands on it. Then I could save Alfrons and all of Werlit. Father, I know you and Alphonse stand on opposing sides of this conflict, but there must be a way you can help him. He may have called you our enemy before, but he never meant it. He still loves you, Father. You're everything he aspires to be. I have failed him. Failed you all. But I refuse to abandon him to his fate. I will free him from Valens if it is the last thing I do. Thank you. He needs you. Now more than ever.
Listen, Allie. I once sought the strength to rebuild the world as I saw fit. But the ultimate weapon was born not to create, but to destroy. Alphonse must not follow in my footsteps. I know all too well where they lead. I will do all I can to help your brother. Pray, tell me where he is.
I'm sorry, I don't know where he could be.
In that case, I shall have the Alliance dispatch scouts. Wherever he is, we will find him. As for you, Allie, you must stay here and rest.
Wait, you're the one who fought Rex, Rickon, and Melisandre, aren't you? We're the ones who threatened your homeland. You only did what you had to do. I have no right to ask you this of you, but... lend my father your strength. Save Alphonse. I know now why they call you hero. Alphonse, I'll do what I must to free you, even if it means going against Father's wishes. But I have a good feeling about his new friend.
Severa, see that she has everything she needs. Our allies must be informed of these troubling events. I ask you to relay this news to the troops in Girobania. Sure. Your loving father act may fool the others, Gaius, but not me. For every life you've saved, you've ended 1,000 more. Or is this your idea of redemption? Call it what you will. For all my transgressions, I believe I still have a part to play. Was I wrong to spare you that day? Or will you honor your word? It seems the time has come for the Black Wolf to show his true colors.
I don't know, man. I think you're seeing them. I think Gaius is truly repentant. Well, there's nothing else really to do. We'll have a quick chat with these guys before we leave.
The majority of the 7th Legion are sure to be stationed in the city of Werlit, the heart of this occupied territory. Whether Alphonse is there with them remains to be seen. According to Allie, another weapon lies in wait, but where we do not know. It stands to reason, however, that if we were to find it, Alphonse would surely not be far away.
While I am painfully aware of the cruelty the Empire shows its enemies, even I am appalled to hear of how it treats its own. Warmachina that feed on the very lives of their pilots. I can scarcely imagine anything more heinous. Yeah, it's pretty fucked. Even the Ultima weapon wasn't guilty of that. Leave Allie to me. Having cared for my mother for so long before being transferred away, I'd like to think I have developed suitable bedside manner. She's in good hands then. Let's head back to Porta Praetoria. We recently received word of your victory over the Emerald Weapon. I expect it was another fine display on your part, not that any of us were there to see it. For that reason, we'd be grateful if you could give us a blow-by-blow account, if you wouldn't mind. Well, sure, it had hands that flew. Good grief, it sounds like you had an awful lot to contend with. Rather you than me. I shall add this to our ever-growing stack of reports, should anyone wish to review this information ahead of the next sortie. Now, if I may say so, it looks like your ordeals have taken their toll. We'll let you know if anything requires your attention, but until then, be sure to get some rest. Sure. I will do just that. 3 weapons. 3 pitiful displays of ineptitude. To make matters worse, one of my prime candidates, your precious sister no less, has escaped. Ugh. And who should she go crawling to but that swine Gaius, after everything I've done for her, and this is how she repays me. As her older brother, it's your responsibility to instill some discipline in her, and you've failed miserably. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Oh, of course, it's your first time, isn't it? Come along, there's no need to be shy. You see, something wicked has taken hold of this young man, and it's our job to cleanse his troubled spirit. It may look painful, but it's the only way, I assure you. He'll be ever so grateful, and you want him to get better, don't you? As a good boy. Now, let's try again, shall we? Burn out the bad. 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 Man, this guy's fucked up. Well done! You've all made Father proud, very proud indeed. As for you, I thought you were a cut above the rest of the savages, but it appears I was mistaken. And since you allowed that wretched sister of yours to escape, it falls to you to act as her replacement. I choose you as the next pilot, and your mission is simple. Kill Gaius Van Baelsar, whatever it takes. And if you so much as entertain the idea of betraying me again, I'll exterminate every last one of your kind. Like the vermin they are. Having said that, we will be forcibly initiating Oversoul using Xenos' combat data, so whatever schemes you may be hatching will never come to pass. All you need to do is sit back and let the synthetic Orosite system do the work, with you as its conduit. You should thank me for allowing you to become part of my masterpiece. Your worthless existence will finally have some semblance of meaning.
Lord Valen's preparations for the Oversoul trial are complete. We await your orders. Splendid. There's never a dull moment around here. Now then, boys, who'd like to see something special? Come along, everyone. Father has secrets to share with you. This guy really is a wannabe Gaius. This is my chance, and it's all thanks to the sacrifices made by my dear siblings. Finally, the weapon will be mine to command. Once it has reached perfection, I will be unstoppable. First Valen's, then the Empire itself will fall, and we will be free at last. Father, keep Ali safe. Melisandre, Rickon, Rex, I'll see this through to the end. I promise. Until then, watch over me. So, is it ready or not? The trial sequence has been primed, sir. Then get on with it. Initiating synthetic orosite system. Loading diamond weapons simulation. What's going on? You're helping us with a little research is all, whatever your name is. The time has come for you to contribute to the glory of Garlemald. This isn't what we agreed. You said that if I took part in the experiment, you'd let my family go. You have Xenos' data loaded, yes? Activate Oversoul and be quick about it. Understood, Lord Valens. Galvis combat sample ready. Initiating organic core overwrite. My mind is... Oh, if this is what it takes to protect you both, I love you. I'm so sorry. Where is my prey? Organic core overwrite complete. Xenos Galvis data loaded.
The subject is instinctively bound to seek out prey right from the outset. Regardless of the combat prowess it may boast, I need an obedient servant, not a ravenous beast. Enough. Shut it down. Deactivating synthetic orocyte system. How revolting, and what a mess it makes of the cockpit. Adjust the settings and prepare for another run. Fortunately, we have the next test subject ready and waiting. But sir, you agreed to release his family in exchange for his cooperation. My, I never knew you had such a wonderful sense of humor. The great Valens Van Varl bargaining with savages? More fool him for trusting me in the first place. Okay, he's not just fucked, he's double fucked. Alright, we have one more quest to do for this video. Ah, Foxy, I was hoping I might have a word with you. Ever since Turncliffe was liberated, we've been sending troops to aid getting the town back on its feet. Helping the residents, that sort of thing. We Alamegans know how hard life can be for a society struggling to stand on its own after years of Imperial rule. A lot of what most people would take for granted has to be rebuilt from the ground up. While we're able to assist when it comes to providing basic resources and keeping the place safe, there are countless other problems that need attending to. If you can spare the time, we could use your help. Bless you, Foxy. You really are a saint. I'm sure the people of Turncliffe will benefit from having someone like you around. Once you're ready, have a word with your usual escort. I wish you all the best. I mean, do I really need an escort? Let's be honest here. It's more like me escorting him. So, the boss roped you into helping, did he? I know you couldn't say no. Well, that is kind of our thing. Gaius? Valen? Oh, he's already said that. You're the one who piloted that warmachina and defeated the sapphire weapon, aren't you? I thought so. I've heard much about you, but I doubt you know who I am. My name is Zavalina, and I grew up here. I stayed throughout the occupation and was put to work as a Magitech engineer. Thanks to you and yours, we are now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us will struggle to put the past behind us. For 10 long years we suffered at their hands. A whole generation of young people were forced into the army and sent off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. My work here kept me away from the battlefield, and I hope my contribution might help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. Though my efforts were in vain, I can at least honor their memory. I want to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they haven't been forgotten. A monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I'll need to see the official list of conscripts. If one still exists, it would be inside the Imperial facility beneath the town, but with the Resistance troops and Ironworks engineers closing the place off, I can't get near it. Perhaps you might have a word with them for me. I'll leave as soon as I find the list. Thank you. I'll follow your lead. That's a nice gesture. Let's see if we can convince our friend to let us in. I'll let you do the talking if that's alright. Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with the Ironworks. Something I can help you with? I see.
It's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in the Imperial's leavings, but it seems she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out our investigation, we've closed the place off to prevent anyone interfering. Considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. Still, I'd better go with her in case the others kick up a fuss.
You're very kind. I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused. You have my thanks.
Think nothing of it. I was glad to help.
As I'd suspected, the Imperials kept detailed records of the local conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend Melisandre. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion of all places.
How do you know of her?
It all began while we were serving together in the 14th Legion. We had much in common, both being drafted from the same occupied territory, and we soon became firm friends. Then one day she was sent to fight in Eorzea while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage. The youngest one, Rickon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adoptive father, Gaius van Baelsar, before they departed. It was actually another of his orphans, Livia Sas Junius, who forbid them from seeing him. I can't say for certain, but it seemed that Livia had a strong attachment to Gaius and wouldn't let anyone else near to him. Oh, you have no idea. As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length for whenever possible, but her devotion to him was bordering on obsession, and she became extremely jealous at the slightest sign of affection between him and his other wards. Others, however, treated them far more kindly. In fact, a Praefectus Castrorum of the 14th Legion came specifically to meet them. While I was surprised that a Rogadin had risen to such a rank, I was even more taken aback by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I had hoped that with people like him serving on the Eorzean front, they'd be in good hands. Then the time came for Melisandre to leave. We shared a few final words, and then she was gone. It would be the last I ever saw of her. By the way, assuming she doesn't make mention of it, because I can't remember, that's Ridditon from Cape Westwind, that complete joke of a trial. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunus Ladiclavius of the 14th, near Otolskeva, and I worked on restoring the Ultima weapon. I was even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but I escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. I eventually made my way back to Werlet, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Even now it makes me sick to my stomach to think I'd helped bring those abominations into the world. Using a living pilot to feed the weapon's core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course they'd never dream of subjecting a trueborn Garlean to such barbaric treatment, not while the 7th Legion has a ready supply of provincial conscripts ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred to only by their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still don't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project. Your skills and knowledge can finally be put to good use. But what could I do? For years, all I've known is how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion is far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. And when they do, it will bring naught but death and woe to all who stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire, Melisandre would still be here. She was the kindest person I ever met, but to the Empire she was just another pawn in their games. I will never forget her. There's a way I can make a difference. I know there is. But first I need to speak with the members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that warmachina you used to beat the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. Until then, there's still some time to make improvements, and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope Melisandre and the others can wait a little longer. Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. I don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for you. Until we meet again. Alright, back to Porta Praetoria we go. So, how was your time in Turncliffe? I see. Fate has dealt her a cruel hand, but now she has a chance to make a fresh start. The same could be said of the whole of Turncliffe. It seems the liberation of that one small town will become a pivotal moment in Werlet's history. Perhaps it won't be too long before the rest of the Legion is free from the Empire. Naturally, we'd be honored to fight alongside the people of Werlet. We won't rest until the Imperials are sent fleeing with their tails between their legs. Until that day arrives, we'll carry on doing our part to support you and the others at ending the weapon project. I'll be sure to pass on any pertinent information. In the meantime, take care. And you too, friend. And therefore, that'll do it for this episode. We have one more to do for the weapons, but we do have a couple of other things to do beforehand, including the main story quest, so I shall catch you in the next one, everyone. Take care until then. Bye.